Hi guys! So, gonna do another silhouette pour. I don't know if you guys had heard, but here in Alberta, in Canada, there was a new dinosaur discovered, and it's called the Reaper of Death. So super scary. Here's a little headline that I printed off the internet. They say, fearsome new dinosaur species discovered in Alberta, and that's just an artist's rendition. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Crazy name, Reaper of Death. I guess it's part of the Tyrannosaurs species of dinosaurs. They say they were large meat-eater dinosaurs, 2 legs. Everybody knows the short arms. But we do have the huge dinosaur finds here in Alberta because we're near Drumheller, which is, I don't know, they have a large deposit of dinosaurs there. So we have a lot of dinosaur hunters. And since there was a new dinosaur that was discovered near the Bow River in Alberta a long time ago, but I guess they just figured out it was a different species, so they named it the Reaper of Death. I thought I would use my dinosaur silhouette for one of these because I hadn't used this one yet, even though it's on my website. And it's going to be hard to see on here, but I cut it out. So this is the vinyl I cut out. So if you guys order them on my CraftyJenn art store, this is kind of what it'll look like, and I'll show you. We'll peel it off and use it. Now, some of you have been asking me if we should paint the negative side first, or why don't I? I usually don't know what color I want to paint the negative side first, so that's why I don't usually paint it first. But today I'm going to paint it just a green. This is just Artist Loft green, and let it dry, apply the silhouette to show you guys, and then we'll give it a whirl. So I'm just going to grab a brush. And I'm actually just going to pour the green right on here. If I grab my... Now the dinosaur silhouette is super long. So it goes all the way from here to like back here. So it is a very long silhouette. So I would probably put him way up there. So I would have to put the green all the way to here-ish, because the pour will be all over. So it's almost like a diagonal where the stuff is going to show up for the pour and the negative space, so that it'll almost be like a diagonal. But I thought I would just show you guys that it is possible to paint the negative side first, if you like. You might still get a bit of paint leakage, or you might still get some of it pulling off, but with acrylics you can just let it dry and just repair it real quick, which is nice. So just gonna do a quick coating of this green. Now I might actually repaint it after I see what colors really pop in the pour, because I'm never too sure what colors are going to become quite dominant with the cells, or if they're going to change a little bit and I have to mix a color that I like. I don't know. You never know. And of course I need to add just a little bit more. So this is just a good base. You can definitely do whatever color you like on your negative side for your art piece. And I thought dinosaur, I'm going with green, even though they think it's like reddy pink with clear. I guess nobody ever really knows the colors of a dinosaur for real, but just like they didn't know they actually had feathers before. Okay, I think that's as far as I'll go to smooth it out. There we go. Oh, sometimes I bought these new brushes on Amazon, just nice big fat ones, so I can do a good coating. Like, look at this one. This one's awesome. It's like nice and fat. I use this for like gesso or Liquid X gloss for afterwards. I'll put a link in the description for any of the supplies, guys, so you can check that out. It would be great. Thank you so much for everybody that uses my links. They greatly help me out. I make a small commission, but it's no extra cost to you guys, so I greatly appreciate it. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Don't worry if it goes over here. The nice part about acrylic paint, once it's dry, you can paint over it. So I'm not too worried about this part because this is where I'm going to do the pour. But this has to dry, and then we're going to apply the silhouette. Okay guys, so this is dry, and now it's time to apply the vinyl. So with this one, I'm going to use the negative side again. With the chakra one, I had used the positive side, just to show you guys something a little different. So sometimes when you get my pre-cut vinyls, I snip a little bit so that way just this small edge doesn't peel off and it won't wreck your vinyl when you're trying to peel it off. Now this dinosaur is very tricky because he has a lot of teeth and small pieces. So my suggestion would be to get a little bit of it going, just like that. You can roll this end, and I think I'm going to put him like right about there. And then what you can do is you can kind of peel it back very gently. So this little piece will come off and I'll just have to readjust. There we go. And there he is. Now these are movable. So I'm going to bring him down. And move him over actually a little bit, I think, this way. If you're just really gentle with it, it should work out okay. Perfect. You just gotta be careful it doesn't go in on itself. So use both hands if you have to. Just like so. All the little teeth. A little tricky area here for his mouth. There we go. And then just the head. Kind of like that. Now, in order to seal this vinyl down, I'm just going to grab a little bit of Liquid X gloss. I'm going to put it in one of my little cups. Just need a little bit. You can always get more. And it's just a matter of lifting up a little portion. Thin layers, guys. Nothing too thick, just a thin layer of gloss. And while it's still wet, I'm going to push that down. Just like that. And I can just pull up this piece. See, that's way too thick right there. Just like so. And then I push down with the brush as I go along. so that is the dinosaur. Now obviously guys, with the more complicated silhouettes like the dinosaur or the moose that have more complicated design, it's a lot trickier to get these to stick down or stay down. So, but they work if you use a lot of patience, and you can get them down. Now the face, the wolf, the simple designs, they're really easy. So you shouldn't have any issues if you want to try starting out with one of those. Those are super easy. Sometimes the horses can be a little difficult with the legs, but overall, if you just make sure that you don't stick it in on itself and you kind of use a little bit of patience, you can get it on there. So, but yes, these ones are a little bit more involved than the simple ones. So, but that is going to seal. I'm going to let it dry. Another thing you can do with these vinyl silhouettes is, if you wanted to, you could do an acrylic pour over the whole canvas, and then you could use this to block out the area, just like you see here with the green. So if I had done an acrylic pour, let it dry, clean the silicone off, I could use this and just come in and stick it right on top, and it would become the outline of the silhouette, and then just leave the vinyl on there and you can just seal over the whole thing with the vinyl on it. That's another option too, if you guys want. And here's the opposite way. So another way you could use the positive side is, after I do the silhouette, take this off. I could put this guy over top of my dried pour to protect it, and then I could paint the negative side using this vinyl to protect the painting. So that's another option too. Alright, I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and do the pour. Alright, so this is all dry now. There is a little bit of a bump here, so I imagine I'll get some paint leakage there, but that's okay, I can fix it. And I've mixed up some pretty cool colors. Now you can make your dinosaur whatever kind of color you like. I'm going with some Pabeo 359. It's the iridescent green yellow, which is super pretty. Some Artist Loft Brilliant Blue. I'm doing some Artist Loft Deep Yellow. And for my swipe color, I'm just going with black. And as you can tell, I got my silicone cups in, which are super awesome because you can just leave them dry and just peel the paint out. Easy to clean. Alright. Time for the pouring. Oh, the most important part is the silicone. So I'm just going to add 1 to 2 drops, and my bottle is almost out. But I'm not going to put any silicone in the black, just in the other colors. And I don't want to mix my silicone lots, I just kind of push it down just like so. Pretty easy peasy. Also, if you're interested, I have my ebook for beginners, which shows my mixing formula and just how to go about starting with acrylic paints pouring. So that will be on my CraftyJenn art store. Okay, so I think my plan, because I do want some cells in and around here, but what I might do is I might pour here and in here, and I might actually move the cells around a little bit on this one so I don't get it too thick. But with anything, you can just kind of pour where you'd like and go from there. Now anything that's dripping over, guys, I make paint skins, so it is a lot of paint, but with the paint skins, you can use them for jewelry, you can use them on other art, lots of different things. You can use them to cover journal covers, lots of different things you can do with them. Just fill in some areas. I mostly want him green, so I might do a bit more green in the front there. Alright, that's lots of paint. So, but we're gonna sweep it across and then I will do a big paint skin with him. And I'm working on my Lowly Beefy matte, which is a silicone matte, which is great because then none of the paint sticks to it, and once it's dry you just peel it right off. Super easy. So I love it. So I'm going to kind of pour like here, because this is just what I want to swipe with. Alright. Grab my paper towel. Now with the paper towel, all I'm doing is I'm just spritzing some water on it. And you only want to make it damp, not soaking wet. So basically it's just damp, it's not soaking wet. And then I'm just going to let it populate the black. Just like that. And then I'm going to swipe. Actually, I might pull some. You just want it to glide across. And as I come to the end, I can pull up a bit. And I'll just leave that there because I'll get the paint off. So you'll see all the cells start to populate. I gotta grab my torch. But I think because I had too much black, I might go back over a bit. So there's always that option, guys. Just gonna take some of this black off from over here. And I can see already I got some over the edge. What I should have done was cover this with some painter's tape before starting. Just because it was kind of thin because the dinosaur has such a long nose. But I could just add it right now. So just to help protect that edge, just gonna put a bit of painter's tape. Like so. Alright, so that's looking pretty cool, but I had a little bit too much black, so I'm gonna do the swipe back and forward again. You're probably like, oh no, don't do it. But I've done this before and it totally works out, so do not fret. Now, I don't always move the paint around, but this time I wanted to so that I could get good coverage and cells right up to the silhouette. So by tilting the canvas, I'm going to get some different elongated cells, but they will go all the way up to the edge of the silhouette, which will be really pretty. And it gets a whole bunch of the paint off. Ooh, pretty. I love all these colors that are happening in here. They're looking really cool. So these are going to grow and spread, and then eventually, like the silhouette is somewhere behind here. When I go to take it off, then these cells will be right up against it, so that'll look really cool. So I gotta let this dry, and then I'll come back and we'll do the reveal. Okay, so this is all dry, guys, and I think it looks super pretty. I'm just to show you how that Pabeo iridescent green shimmers. So now it's time to peel off the vinyl silhouette. So, like anything, just take your time to peel it off. And this dinosaur, I'm going to have to work a little bit at it. First I need a corner. So I'm just going to keep going and getting this off, and then I'm going to work on the negative side. And a good tool to have, guys, with you is an X-Acto knife when peeling off your vinyl. See, right here, so I had painted this green just to show you, but see how it's peeling off? So that's kind of why I don't usually paint the negative side first, because sometimes that happens too, or it'll just peel it off. So I'll have to paint it in again anyways, but at least it's not peeling off the gesso. So this is where the teeth are. So I'm going to have to come in. Need to figure out where my dinosaur is. There he is. So I gotta pull that teeth part off here. Alright, so that was a big mess. Very hard to get the teeth out because I had the paint so super thick here. So as you could see, all I did was I just cut it with an X-Acto. I still have the shape of the mouth in here, which is good. And I still have the cells up to the mouth edge, which I'm totally cool with. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to sand out, and I also kind of cut his claw off by accident. So, whoops. But that's okay. I'm going to paint it back in. I'm going to sand down. I have a couple little paint leaks here and right up here. But I still get these really pretty cells all the way up to the dinosaur. So I'm going to sand off some of the leaks that happened underneath. And I'm going to fix up this part by sanding it down a little bit, because I'm just going to paint these teeth in, make them look really fierce. So all is not lost. It's still fixable. I still got beautiful cells over here and in here. And I'm going to go grab my Dremel and fix him up. Because all you got to do is you could hand sand these down, or like I do, use a quicker tool, is the Dremel. Okay, so it's going to get a little loud, but I'm going to just turn him this way. Alright, so now I'm going to fix things. So when stuff happens to your paintings, guys, I wouldn't say give up or throw it out. It just takes a little bit of work, and you can fix them up so they're still totally good to use. Because sometimes it doesn't always work out perfectly. But with acrylic paint, the nice part is that you can go through and repair some stuff. So of course with this guy, because I have cells right up to him, I want to be really careful of the edge so that I don't put any paint over. If I do, I could use a paper towel with a little bit of water to clean him up, or clean it off of my cellular edges that I have for him. So like I said, this is one of the more difficult silhouettes. The easier ones are definitely like the female face, or the bear, or the wolf, or stuff like that. There's less involved in the silhouette. They turn out really, really pretty. I'm not going to give up on him. I'm just more so going to go around and kind of fix him up a little bit. So I got some holes I'm just filling in with some gesso. Easy way to repair your pulled up canvases. And even though I cut all his teeth out, I'm just going to paint them back in. That's the beauty of acrylic paint, is that I can just come back in and paint his teeth back in. I did get a few, but mostly his jawline is still there, which is good. Alright, I'm going to let him dry, or more so let the negative space side dry, and then I'm going to come back and paint this side. Alright guys, so I decided I was going to do it at a dark blue, but the problem is that I didn't have enough contrast between, because I was going to use this brilliant blue, which I started to do, but there wasn't enough contrast between the darkness of the dinosaur and the negative space. So I switched it up and I went with like a light sky blue, which I think looks pretty cool, because if this was for a boy's room and you have your nice dinosaur and stuff, you know, you got blue can be used for the sky, or you could paint a scene in here, stuff like that. So now I'm just going to go in. I have some black that I put on the sheet here, and I'm gonna go in and draw his teeth. So you can make them up as you go. You could use the positive space as kind of a guide, but I'm just gonna make it up as I go. And I'm gonna keep drawing in his teeth just with some black, because I used black to swipe over, so I think it'll work just fine. Alright guys, so that is my dinosaur. I think he looks pretty cool. I painted in all the teeth, and yeah, you know, if that happens, you can always just paint them in. You could use, if you're worried about painting in details, you could use like a Sharpie or a paint pen to really get them nice and sharp too, right? So instead of a paintbrush and some black paint. And he shimmers super pretty. So I think the dinosaur would be a great, for any kind of kid that would like dinosaurs and stuff, it's a great fun one. Obviously, like I said before, these are a bit more complicated, but you could just cut the mouth out and then paint the teeth in after. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody for watching my channel, commenting, liking, and definitely subscribing. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you guys are enjoying my art videos. Thank you so much for using my Amazon links, and check out all the links in the description, and I hope you guys enjoy creating. Thank you so much.